I'm Mark Fernandez, and this is Franchising with Fernandez. Hi, I'm on the phone today with Greg Paget, the franchisor for Cleantastic, based in New Zealand. Welcome, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Good to be here.
Great, wonderful. Well, Greg, firstly, can you tell us a little bit about where you are and how many franchisees and support officers and staff that you have?
Yep, sure thing. So we're based in Auckland, in New Zealand. We have just short of 300 franchise operators across the country, and we support them out of 7 offices that are spread across the country as well. So I guess there's about 18 or 19 in our support team who look after all those franchisees and clients.
Wow, wonderful. So I'm sure you've seen some amazing things over the last few weeks and ups and downs and bits and pieces. So can I just ask you about your relationship with the Australian company? Are you still affiliated with the guys here in Australia?
Yeah, sure, Mark. No, we're not affiliated any longer. We used to be, but about 7 or 8 years ago, we split off. So we're a totally independent operation here in New Zealand.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, Greg, straight to the burning question. Walk us through the last couple of weeks. It's just been insane around the world. From your eyes and your lenses, what have you seen, and what are you guys going through there in New Zealand?
Yeah, Mark, it's been pretty crazy as it has been for everybody, and I think every country is experiencing different things and how it's being handled. For us, as a business, it's certainly been like for everybody else, just hey, what's going to happen later today or what's going to happen tomorrow? And this thing seems to have escalated so fast to levels that people probably just did not expect. So the lucky thing for us is we have a fantastic team of franchisees and support people out there who've made the pain a little bit less, albeit there's a lot of people hurting. So yeah, it's and for the country, it's still what's happening tomorrow.
Sure, and 300 franchisees. What an amazing brand and system that you've built up there. Can you walk us through some of the support mechanisms that you've put in place? I'm sure it's live and evolving daily, if not hourly, with some of the requests. But in general, what have you done to help your guys through this time up till now?
The biggest thing, Mark, that anybody can do with their franchise team is to communicate. And I was at a conference recently, and somebody said if you're going to communicate once about something, you probably need to do it 10 times. And I've absolutely taken that on board because you can't over communicate. Excuse me. So one of the big things that we have done is that all the communication comes through me. So it's one voice, if you like. So it does a couple of things. One is to create absolute consistency. And that's not taking away from my support team, who are fantastic. But it's really important that the franchisees see the franchisor on the front foot. And so communication has been the biggest thing. And sometimes you might be telling them nothing, but it's just the connection that's there. Probably what's come out of that is I'm personally getting a lot of emails back from franchisees of having them ring me. I'm talking probably more one-on-one than I have for a long time. And that's, if there's one thing you can do, don't underestimate the power of that. It's about everybody being there to support everybody.
Great. And what about some of the business support? Are you helping them financially? Give us.
So there's all the practical things, like there's the fees. So we've looked at what we can do to remove some fees, reduce some fees. We're in the cleaning industry, so chemicals are a pretty important thing. So we've looked at what we can do with subsidising some of those, or getting some special pieces of equipment and chemicals out there for them to use. Some of that totally at my cost, some of it at theirs, but it's about everybody sharing in it. And again, the feedback and support that we've had from these this team has just been incredible.
Oh, wonderful. So it sounds like you've got your third partner involved, which is your suppliers, to help your network.
Yeah, absolutely. And they, like every other business, has been struggling to keep up with some things. But in fact, again, it's I keep coming back to that communication thing, and it's not just the communication with what we're going through now. If you've built up a good relationship with your suppliers and your clients and your franchisees prior to this sort of thing happening, then it's a heck of a lot easier going through it.
Wonderful. And Greg, personally, can I ask you what you and your family have been going through? I mean, the stress of the business is one thing, but can you just give us a little insight as to the person, Greg Paget?
Yeah, it's crazy times. Um, I, I guess being busy because we're an essential support service to essential businesses, and so I've just been incredibly busy, and that's actually been a real saver for me. Um, so we're isolated in our house, haven't moved from the apartment that we're in here for probably about crikey 10 or 12 days now. I haven't really left apart from the odd walk.
Right.
But the business is keeping me busy, and I think I keep coming back to the the attitude and the support that I'm getting from the franchisees and my team has made it a lot easier. So everybody's on board. And if I didn't have that, if I was struggling or if I was fighting with them or trying to get stuff done, it would have made life a lot harder.
Sure. And we're all just sort of hanging in there is what I'm feeling from you, just trying to get by day.
Yep, absolutely. And no, the next week or the next 2 weeks, as we sort of have a look and see where the country and the world is going. Um, who knows? It's you just got to have that support around you. So, like everybody else, there's so many of these group chats going on Zoom and on Facebook, on everything else you can think of. Excuse me, and certainly that has been fantastic. So you haven't really lost touch with people. You just can't go up and give them a hug. That's the only problem.
True, true. And so many of us need a hug right
Yeah,
now. Yes. All right, Greg, walk us through, let's talk about your crystal ball. I'm sure it's probably a bit dusty given the events of the last few weeks, but where do you see your business and franchising, I guess, in New Zealand in the next 6 or 9 months?
yeah, interesting days. Again, yep, I need to polish that that crystal ball a little bit more. It's it's about being prepared for whatever direction the business might go in. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of work on being prepared for some positive stuff and being prepared for some stuff that may not be so positive. So it comes back to your working in your business and making sure your plans are pretty robust and being very realistic. Because right across the world, there's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be businesses that will not open up again. And while that will affect their business and the people that work in them, it's going to affect my team, it's going to affect my franchisees, and ultimately that impacts on me. So there's some real honesty has to go into your planning, I think, because in some ways we're going to come out a little bit stronger, but I know there's also going to be a big hit to the business. And we need to be prepared to do things differently. So I haven't got the answers yet, but the next couple of weeks are going to be spending a lot of time around planning.
And New Zealand franchising is pretty strong. Do you think it's going to be robust enough to handle this, let's call it a tsunami of economics and
Yeah,
crisis?
I think so. The Franchise Association here has been fantastic. We have conference calls a couple of times a week, and there's a huge amount of franchisors and franchisees on there, and the sharing and caring amongst the franchise community has been fantastic. And because of that, I believe it'll be as strong as ever, if not stronger, I think a lot of people will potentially come out of employment and see franchising as an opportunity. And that can only be good for everybody.
Wonderful. Okay, Greg, last question. If you have your opportunity now to talk to the Australian franchising community, what would you say? What words of encouragement or what words of wisdom can you embark upon us?
Words of wisdom, that's a scary thing coming from a Kiwi. I can't underestimate communication. I seriously can't. It's, this is about everybody winning, or not everybody not losing as much, if you like, if you want to put it that way, because there will be pain for franchisees, for master franchisees, for franchisors. And the more you can share that pain, the greater potential success there will be at the end. It's about just everybody being in the same boat.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it. Greg Paget, the franchisor for Cleantastic, based in New Zealand. Greg, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it and your honesty. And we wish you, your family and your business all the best. And we hope to catch up with you probably the other side of Christmas to see how you're going and check in with you, if that's okay.
No problem at all. It's been my pleasure, Mark, and my best wishes to the Australian community and franchise businesses. Take care.
Wonderful. Thank you. Bye for now. If you have any positive franchising stories out there, I'd love to hear them. Drop me an email at mark@bda-online.com.au. I'm Mark Fernandez, and this is Franchising with Fernandez.